I'll tell you two things. One about a real dignitary. I was fascinated one day when the Emperor of Japan had not traveled outside Japan and not to this country ever. And the Emperor came and he asked to come to Charlottesville. Now, we have heads of state who come occasionally, but the Emperor fascinated me for a number of reasons. One is that he is a botanist, and a fairly good one. It was like walking the grounds with V. Ron, because he knew every tree intimately. But he had a list of trees that Jefferson had acquired from a merchant in Philadelphia that were Asian or Japanese trees, and he wanted to see those trees. So the ginkgos and some of those large trees in front of the rotunda, he had each tree on his list, and he was checking off what he saw. We came to a place where they had set up a rope to provide a buffer for him as he went into the rotunda. And he, instead of turning into the rotunda, turned into the crowd, because there were several hundred Asian persons gathered there. And he would speak to somebody and he would say, "Are you Korean or are you Japanese? Are you Korean or are you Chinese?" It interested me that he was not able immediately to know the ethnicities of these people. But as soon as he understood, he shifted to the appropriate language and carried on very intense conversations with these people. One other one that I think is, if you know my son Lars is the one who's very tall. The Dalai Lama was here during a conference of Nobel Prize winners. And there was a cocktail hour at Cars Hill, and the Dalai Lama was not participating in that, but he was talking to people. And at some point I realized that he had been in the corner of the parlor with Lars for quite a long time. So I walked over to see what was going on, and Lars is saying to the Dalai Lama, "I still don't understand what you're the Dalai Lama of." I'll tell you a similar story that goes back a little quick. When I was president at the University of Connecticut, Gerald Ford used to come out and spend weekends with us. He knew some people in the neighborhood, and we had a guest one that he used. And he would typically have dinner with us on Friday night, and he liked to play with the children. So they would go into a sunroom and they would play various games. And one morning after President Ford had left, we were having breakfast, and Lars says, "You know that President Ford guy?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "He's not really as dumb as he acts."
This is great. I think we should just continue with this. I think we have time for two questions, and let me start.